Hello everyone and welcome to this new Raylib video. In the last episode we saw how to load the texture and create animations. In fact, our player can now move around, but if he encounters a wall, for example, well, he passed through it, and that's not exactly how it should be in a game. So in this video we are going to see how to add hitboxes. So far we have seen how to move an object on the screen, but if you try to walk towards a wall, nothing stops it from passing through it. To avoid this, there are hitboxes. Hitboxes are simple collision between two objects. In Raylib, we already have functions that implement a collision system between rectangles, also known as AABB, which is exactly what we'll use now. Now let's create a rectangular hitboxes for the player and the walls. They will not be visible during the game, but they help us calculate the collisions. Let's insert these lines of code before our loop that keep the window alive. In this case I use X and Y since in the previous video we already defined this as a variable for the player position, but nothing prevents us from using a structure or a class to manage their position. I also took the player's width and length as information. The same applies to the walls. To see the hitbox on the screen only in debug mode, we can use DrawRectangleLinesEx. This helps us visualize collisions by simply giving it the rectangle we just created, the thickness of the hitbox frame and the color. Now, to check if the two hitboxes are colliding, we can use the CheckCollisionRecs function, which simply requires the player's hitbox and the wall's hitbox. If the hitboxes intersect, it will enter the if statement, where a message will be displayed on the screen, indicating that there is a collision. Most importantly, we return the player and their hitbox to their previous position before they touch the hitbox. In this way, we create the illusion that they are colliding with the wall. The last thing we need to do is update the position of the hitbox every time the player moves, otherwise nothing will ever happen. To do this, we can integrate the movement of the hitbox into the player's movement system. Let's now see if everything works, and as we can see, the player no longer passes through the wall. Obviously, this system we have created only applies to one wall, but what if there were more than one? In this case, the best option would be to add a vector containing all the walls and then a for each loop that checks the walls and draw them. So first of all, let's add a vector that calculates walls and insert rectangles into it to define our new walls. Next, let's slightly change the wall control by inserting this for each loop that checks if the player is colliding with one of the walls. Finally, let's draw the wall rectangle using the for each loop. Now, let's run the code and see what happens. As expected, the player collides correctly with all the walls. In the end, there wasn't much to change to add more walls, as you have seen. And that's it for this episode. Now our player can properly collide with the walls instead of walking through them. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in the next one. Bye!